All right, I think everything's working.
Sure.
Well, I mean, it seems to be. All right, so hey guys, welcome today. I thought I would show you my second game with Hajin at the US Go Congress. I'm here with my friend Aaron.
Hello again.
And he was at the Go Congress, but he did not feel esteemed enough to come watch me play a second time against her.
I was attending a teacher's lecture. I did it again. I keep doing that. I keep saying workshop. It's workshop.
It was a workshop. Yeah, the teachers had workshops.
It was Andrew's workshop.
Oh, right. Yeah, we were at the same time where Andrew was dying of the flu and I was...
Did an off-the-cuff speech and yeah, it was good.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Well, so I want to show you this game because I adopted a pretty different philosophy than for my first game. Hopefully you've all watched my first game against Hajin, which I thought was a pretty good game, although she totally kicked my ass in the upper left-hand corner with this brilliant play that, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It just made me feel so terrible about how little I know about this game in that upper left-hand corner. But we'll show you how this game went, because this one went entirely different. And by entirely, I mean I played with a pretty different psychology. The first game I played very defensive. I said, well, I have a 25-point Comey. I just need to make very solid groups. And in order to limit the size of those groups, I played a cross game. In this game, I decided to not play a cross game and play a more building kind of game, but was willing to fight everywhere. And this is what we did. And I actually ended up playing Kobayashi. I really didn't want to play Kobayashi. But I did because, again, when we were getting set up, we were still like working out some technical difficulties, and there were a bunch of people in the room, and I was just trying to play a move I knew I wouldn't be wrong. So I ended up playing Kobayashi, which is really weird because I never play it.
I was hoping you'd play Mirago.
Man, I so wanted to play Mirago, and she like begged me not to. And then we had this little bluffing game where I said, I'm going to think about playing Mirago. And then she said, well, I'm going to prepare an opening. I'm going to have to prepare a response then. And then the next morning I had breakfast with her, and she said she had a response prepared.
Okay.
But it turned out to be a lie. She had nothing prepared. So we played this bluffing pseudo game, outside of the actual Go board that was kind of neat. Okay, so anyway, I'm just playing very territorial here, although I'm trying to put on some pressure. And this move is a little bit slow. Like typically we see, whoops, that went back way too many moves. Typically we see black play as far out to here. I just really don't like the shape though, especially against a really strong player. It's just two space extensions. There's a lot of space for bad things to happen. So I played very conservative, which of course still means something bad can happen, but at least it's a thing that I know what's going to happen. Right, this is more of a known quantity in my own game. But it's still playing scared, and I probably shouldn't have done it. So I played here to keep the pressure on. White plays there, and I play there. And now white starts a fight, and I'm going, all right, we're fighting. This is how this was going to go. I played here, which I don't remember why. Why did I play here? Oh, I think it's because, so my morning at the US Open, this is from 2 days earlier, I think. I played a game where this was like a variation that we went over after the game. It was a really cool variation. And of course, the situation here is entirely different, and I shouldn't play it here. But it was a really cool variation, and I just wanted to play it again.
Play the move you want to play.
Play the move you want to play, absolutely. My intention here is, of course, to make this crosscut, which is just a really cool sequence anyway. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this attach and crosscut, but I played this in a teaching game against Angyang Gil, who's a Korean he might be 9-dom. I think he's still 8-dom professional once. And he kind of yelled at me for playing. He's like, this is a terrible move. But I played it again anyway because I had a stone here at R11. I had just seen it like 2 days earlier in my US Open game. So I was like, I want to play that. But so this is sort of quasi Joseki. And it looks like black is getting the entire outside and white is getting the corner. But this is where the really cool part happens. Do you want to know a really cool move, Aaron? Or do you want to try to find a really cool move?
For you. Find it. All right, let's go crazy. The T18.
T18 is not cool enough.
Okay. Ooh, wait, that's a hint. S19.
Not cool enough.
Still not cool enough.
It's pretty cool, though. Well, you ready?
Yes.
This
That
one.
cut.
Now, what's so cool about this move, you might ask?
You get something.
I get something, but what do I get? Like, this is a really stupid-looking move, right? It just dies. This is what Hajin played in the game.
Mm-hmm.
She could just take this. But, of course, if she takes that, I get to take this. And now I have this really big outside potential plus pressure on her R6 group. So, but in the game, she did play here. And the game now I cut here. And she, of course, doesn't want to give up her entire corner yet. So she runs that out. So I Atari again. And now we play the T18 move. And why does T18 a good idea now? Well, white actually just can't Atari here, right? That's self-Atari.
Mm-hmm.
So she does take one Atari and then capture. And then I get to capture the corner. So this is a really cool variation. Right? Because what did white get here?
2 points. 3 points.
Yeah, white has a 2-point group, basically, that we should add is still not 100% alive. What did black get?
Let's see. More points in the corner and outside influence. A lot.
Good. Now, of course, this is all a lie. Because we forgot to mention some other things that white got here that isn't immediately obvious. But of course, white can fight. And in fact, white can do more than fight. White can basically just capture these 3 stones. This is one of those situations ago where like black looks really strong, like it looks like black has a lot of liberties, but not really. Like when white plays here, we have 2 3 liberty groups here in the middle. Let's see if I can label them. Does this label them? It does label them, right? I've got 3 and white has 3. And I've got 1 5 liberty group here. But, you know, if black, black could jump out or something, but then white will just jump out and capture more stones, or actually probably extend and then jump out. Which will be probably, in the end, we're not just looking at white having this sad-looking group. We're looking more at, I can make circles if I don't know how I made that circle. Oh, that was the last move played. I see. White will end up with capturing all of this, while black will get all of this. That wasn't very clear in the diagram, but trust me, it worked. So that's how it sort of should end up. So I push here, and then I come back to capture those 3 stones. And this was a really sad part of the game. Because in the end, I think we both sort of decided that I really needed to push here once more.
Mm-hmm.
Before coming back. Because white really has to extend, and then I can play a move. And then this would be okay for black. Like, this is playable. I think this is actually pretty even for both sides, because there's still a lot of Aji for this white group up here. But black still has some cuts and things, too. They're kind of weak. So I didn't play that, though, so white gets to turn here. And now, basically, I should probably just play here and just kill off the remaining Aji. But if I do that, white will get to capture, or at least get this free Atari stone, and then play this move. And I really didn't want that to happen. That seemed really too good for white. This Atari was very painful. So I said, I'm just going to capture these 3 white stones on a really large scale. White takes a Sente move, and then pushes again. And at this point I realized this might have been a mistake. Because we keep pushing, and at any point if I stop pushing, if I come play here, this is such bad Aji, right? Because white now, of course actually white can't do that yet. But there is all this Aji here later on for just white to just completely cover me. And white can use this in any number of ways. And basically white would just double Atari here, or double Hane. This is an appropriate place to play double Hane, by the way, Aaron. I reviewed just a few of Aaron's games a little while ago, and yeah, this would be a strong double Hane. Because black really can't fight.
Right.
Right, there's just no fight here. Okay, so I extend, and then white plays here. And now look at that white side on the right. It's pretty huge. And so I made a choice. Remember how I left this defect here at L4? I could defend it, which I did. Or I could actually go over here and sort of complete my extension. And I think I should do this. Like, I think this is a more appropriate thing for me to do. You counting the lines of territory that we each have?
Yes, yes.
If neither of us get reduced, it's actually pretty even. But of course, it's a lot easier for white to reduce me than for me to reduce white. Especially because white's next move will probably be in here. But I don't do this. I defend because, again, I have 25 points of Comey. If I get the bottom, and I keep my corner, and I kill off the 017 stones, even with the giant white thing on the right, it's still hard for white to find an extra 25 points somewhere. But white plays here. And again, I should probably just play this, but I have all of these wonderful stones here. So what do you think I do, Aaron?
You pincer.
Of course, I have to attack. I have to use those stones, right? I have to put pressure on this white group. Again, I'm going to fight today. Remember, my first game against Hajin about Haylee, right? Internet known as Haylee. I played really defensive and lost by a few. And this game, it's war. And then she plays this move, which kind of surprised me because I thought this was a terrible idea. And she's basically committed to doing it again. And then I just try to seal the whole thing in. Key word is try. She takes the shape point. This is the shape point for both players. And I didn't realize actually how terrible the shape is for me. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I thought through extending I was doing okay with keeping my shape. But this is just the dumbest shape in the world. This is like the 5-point box shape. Actually, it's not even 5 points because when white pushes in here, I have to play here. So there's really 3 points here, and only 2 if I need them for eyes. Right, if I just play here, of course, white can just capture. So this is a pretty dumb shape. Don't make this shape, kids. It took me 11 moves. Is that 11? That's really... No, sorry, plus 2 more. 13 moves to make exactly 1 eye. And then the move that really actually surprised both of us, Hajin didn't see this until this point in the game. She wasn't reading this, and I wasn't reading either. I thought Hajin would play something like this. You know, push and then play here. But apparently, white can play here, and it totally works wonderfully. And this actually is a really hard move for black to deal with. If black just tries to push here, white can actually take this cut. And it's actually kind of difficult for black. White just has so many liberties that white can basically attack this or this as long as they're cut. Oops, that's not the game. So in the game, I play this once. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the better move. Haha. This move is killer. And it's actually this move that makes the H17 move work so well. Actually, my previous variation is a lie. That was the variation I read out in the game that I thought was playable. Like white's still alive, white can still live, but it's playable for both. But this stone here, what would you play, Aaron?
I would try cutting.
You would try cutting here or here?
Yeah.
Which one?
The G17 cut.
The G17 cut, you say? Well, let us say white plays here.
then you seal off the group on the right.
Or seal off the group on the right, like here?
Meaning, if you try capturing the white stone, white will seal you off and then attack that group.
Or actually, I think there's better things white can do here even. Maybe even this. I don't remember. Hajin showed me the variations she read out after the game. And I don't remember what they were now. But they were all terrible for me. If black goes this way, this is bad. Okay. I don't remember. I don't remember what I read either. But I read this in the game as being not good for black. Maybe just there is good enough, even to exemplify. So black still kind of needs to move over here or over here. And if we take this one, still need to move here. I don't know, then black gets attacked this way. I don't know. So
it's not good.
It's not good. It's not great. I probably should have still done it. But again, I think there was another killer variation that they either read out the time and don't remember now or what happened. But then white gets this, which is great for white. And so then we played over here, which is probably bad. But again, I was just trying to make something on the left-hand side. So this is a reasonable way to start. Usually after this move, of course, white plays here, here, and then usually here. But this felt good enough for white, so I really wasn't happy with that. So I asked for more. Again, we're fighting now. And after I jump out, I'm sort of thinking, hey, I can now attack the C6 and D4 stone at this point. Whoops. Like, this is a pretty severe attack against these two stones. Or I can attack this stone here. So I was like, hey, I'm still in this game. Where's my cursor? Whoops, too far back. Dunk, 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 dunk. But after this, white takes this peep, which surprised me, but then comes out here. So even though I sort of thought I was attacking white on either side, white thinks she's attacking me here with my little stick of 3 stones in the middle. All right, so now these 3 stones that have no friends. She plays the next Joseki move, and I take that as an opportunity to Tanuki. Taking here is a really big move. It's worth a lot of points, and it's a completely solid base for white. But I try to get out one more move here in the middle to save this 3, or help this group of 3 stones, and keep the hope of attacking these 3 stones alive at the same time. And then I come back and finish the Joseki to try to upset the base here. But she gets out. I have to spend another move. We looked at this after the game. If I take any sort of time to extend at the H4 spot, she can, of course, cut and kill something. So I take one more move to defend. Now I can finally say that my stick is now mostly safe, and I can actually sort of do something with it. But of course, she gets some free moves. And then apparently, during the game, she actually polled the audience about what she should do here. And apparently, the audience. This was taped in front, or tried to live stream in front of a live audience that then kind of failed halfway through. But that's a different story. They actually were just completely happy with her just taking this entire giant top left-hand territory and not continuing the attack. But the move, she also said the move she really wanted to play after the game was actually this one, was C2. Because if black does do anything in here, white can still counter it. It's not like black might be able to live or prevent white from getting all these points. But C2 is actually the really key point. So I play a move like here as a last-ditch effort to try to reduce this, help this, and attack this. All with one move. And now at this point, white comes back and plays the C2 move. So I get to cut, which is the nice part about this, which gives me a few more points, and I do get to reduce this a little bit. And most of these moves, I'm basically just trying to reduce / take away points. Oh, sorry, I should go back. This is kind of a key point. So this is, again, this is just reduction. Even with an extra 25-point Comey here, I really don't have enough anymore. Let's see, there's a score estimator tool somewhere that's not here. Where is it? Oh, OGS, I don't know. But basically I need to find a lot of points. I forgot what I counted the score as. So at this point, I try to play the most severe thing possible. When she cuts here, I extend this way. And try to just search desperately for some Aji. I am in Byoyomi at this point. And she plays correctly here. And doesn't give me any extra liberties, and at this point I resign. And we talked about this for a while. It doesn't look like there's really anything black can do without white misplaying. There are ways to short the liberties here. But it really doesn't do a whole lot. I forgot exactly how this works, or Hane. Basically, I'm just one liberty behind on being able to do anything. So there you are. So that was the game. So this game I tried to fight. Like I said, it was very different than the first game where I just tried to play defensive and for the most part didn't die. -1 brilliant sequence in the top left. But, you know, this was also towards the end of the Congress. So I think we were both kind of tired, and, you know, she had just done the European Go Congress, but she's a professional, so she's a machine. And I tried out this variation, again, which I still really like this variation. Of course, the problem with this variation is that when white has a stone, or a group of stones, here especially, but also here and here also are helpful, this variation isn't very good for black. Or rather, let's say it's playable for black if the subsequent moves, this is just such a cool move, to short the liberties. The subsequent moves need either to have black have some sort of support on this side, or for black to just be satisfied with killing the 3 directly and exchanging those 3 for these 3. Or I should have pushed here. Any one of those things should have happened, and it would have been a game. So, yeah, that was the game, Aaron. What did you think?
I think next year I'll definitely play some pros.
Yeah. Yeah, getting beat by a pro is fun. I recommend it. It's totally a thing you can do. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably, I mean, she's planning on coming back next year as far as I know. I'm happy to do these live streamed again next year, and hopefully the streaming will be a little bit more consistent. The problem is we were trying to stream these in theaters, like not the normal computer locations. And so the first time the internet connection was really poor, and the second, I don't remember what happened, but something else happened to it in these like theaters on the campus. So unfortunately, they didn't really get recorded or streamed well.
Yeah, the second time was in the actual auditorium. The first time it was in the bar area, I think.
It was in that bar thing, hangout place, yeah. But it's still, I mean, it was a big area, but they were trying to run it off wireless, and that was not smart, apparently. But anyway, like I was saying, like next year I'm happy to do this again. So Hajin, you're officially challenged. But I'm also happy if anyone, if any other, you know, YouTube, you know, commenters, streamers, strong players especially that are stronger than me, want to step in and you know, you're welcome to do that as well. I feel like Hajin liked playing me because I was strong enough to make some interesting moves during the game, but weak enough of a player such that she could beat me without thinking too hard about it. And that would sort of free her up to do more of the live commentary and discussion and answering questions and things. So I think for her it was probably a pretty good difficulty. For me, of course, it's not really fair. I think we learned from the first game I really need about 40 points of Comey to make it an interesting game. But you know, that's kind of where it's at.
I watched the first game. As she was playing, she was very worried about just the 25 points already.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know that she made it all back up during endgame and that sort of stuff, and she ended up winning, but she felt behind the whole time. Well,
here's the other thing. Like I think, like I know Hajin is a professional and learned how to count, but I think just she's one of the worst pros at counting. Maybe I'm just way off on that, but that, you know, I've like, you know, she's also, you know, published a whole huge series of videos that I've watched a majority of. Mm-hmm. And her count is so bad so often. You know, especially going that late mid game. I don't know.
Or maybe she's just a pessimist and underestimates.
Yeah, maybe that could be it too. So I don't know, but you know, definitely a big thanks to her for the games, and a thanks to the Go Congress for setting this up. And I know she's wanting to do another Pair Go video with me and Andrew again. And so at some point this year that'll happen, so you can look forward to that. So yeah, happy going, everyone.